Global Television's News Express, Senator Akpabio says positive mindset required to drive Nigerians' progress. In business, Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative to probe 190 oil mining companies' revenues. On our foreign scene, South Africa, patients flock to dock Chinese hospital ship, seek access to health services. In sports, ASEAN rejects €70 million Saudi move. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nightconsat. Now the news in full. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, says Nigerians need a new positive mindset to rebuild the country. Akpabio spoke a day former Ghanaian President John Mahama said the rising trend of civil unrest in Africa is a reflection of the deep disillusionment of the democratic process on the continent. Senator Akpabio and President Mahama spoke at the ongoing Nigerian Bar Association Annual General Conference in Lagos, where he emphasized the critical role of the illegal community in Nigerians' ongoing effort to rebuild and transform the nation. Akpabio also highlighted the historic significance of the Lawyers Association and its pivotal role in shaping Nigerians' path to independence and beyond. Senator of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has inaugurated the construction of a state-of-the-art bus and taxi terminal in Abuja's Central Business District. The project, a key element in the FCT administration's border strategy to revamp the capital's infrastructure, is expected to ease traffic congestion, enhance public transportation, and bolster security in the city. The terminal, which is part of a series of infrastructural projects initiated by the administration, will include amenities such as restaurants and relaxation areas designed to offer commuters both convenience and comfort. It will be fully integrated with Abuja's expanding road network, ensuring seamless connections across the country. The federal government has announced its determination to review the policy that bars individuals under the age of 18 from taking part in the National Examinations Council (WAEC) and West African Examination Council (NECO) exams. Minister of Education Professor Tahir Mamman said the federal government directed WAEC, which conducts the West African Senior School Certificate Examination, and NECO, which oversees the Senior School Certificate Examination, to enforce the 18-year-old requirement for candidates wishing to take these exams. Stressing that it is not a new policy, it stated that the age limit for candidates sitting for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) administered by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAM) remains set at 18 years. President Bola Tinubu has vowed to keep promoting the rule of law, adhere to the principles of separation of powers, and tolerate dissenting views within the armpit of the law of Nigeria, stating that his administration had made steady progress in the effort to rebuild the country through legal and judicial reforms. The president spoke in Lagos when he declared open the annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association. Tinubu, who was represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, acknowledged the association's stirring history of championing democratic ideals as well as promoting the rule of law. The president employed lawyers, Nigerian lawyers, and other citizens to join hands with his administration in resolutely working towards a Nigeria of everyone's dreams. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has inaugurated the construction of the state-of-the-art bus and taxi terminal in Abuja's central area. The project, a key element in the territory's border strategy to revamp the capital's infrastructure, is expected to ease traffic congestion, public transportation, and bolster security in the city. The terminal, which is part of a series of infrastructure projects initiated by the Federal Capital Territory Administration, will include amenities such as restaurants and relaxation area designed to offer commuters both convenience and comfort. The police has confirmed the brutal murder of Damola Akinloye, a 50-year-old son of Tijani Akinloye, the Ojomo of Ajarin land of Lagos State. Spokesperson of the police in the state, Benjamin Hadein, says the deceased was driving near Bodilon Court Estate Gate around 12:30 p.m. on Monday when 4 armed men shot and stabbed him. Adeyin said the body of the late monarch's son has been deposited at the morgue in Ajah at the Central Criminal Investigation Intelligence Department investigations the incident. A tea vendor identified as Abdul Rashidu Yau in Jigawa State has allegedly killed a 20-year-old man named Hassan Garba of accusations of stealing bread, milk, noodles, and petrol. The suspect, who resides in Sarari village, Jigawa Sada town in Dutse local government area, is said to have committed the crime on August 19, 2024. The police public relations officer for Jigawa State Command, DSP Lawan Adam, confirmed the crime in a statement. He said upon receiving the report, a standby patrol team promptly rushed to the scene, apprehended the suspect, and conveyed the victim to Rashid Shekanu Teaching Hospital for immediate medical attention. The National Working Committee of the ruling All Progressive Congress will meet today with Benue senators, House of Representatives, members and stakeholders of the party in the state to resolve the lingering feud between loyalists of Governor Hyacinth Alia and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume. For over a year, the Benue chapter of the APC has been banked and embroiled in crisis by political gladiators fighting for control of the party. While Austin Agada led the Akume's fraction of the party, Benjamin Amakolo was in charge of the Alia fraction. You're watching News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital. When News Express returns, South Africa patients flock to dock Chinese hospital ship, seek access to health services. Details of these and more right after this break. Do stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Television, bringing you live broadcasts of News Express. Thank you for staying with us. On our business decks, a report by Budget IT, an accountability firm, has revealed that the federal government spent 3 times its revenue in 2023, resulting in a deficit of 13.50 trillion naira. In its analysis of the 2023 fiscal account from the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Budget IT stated the government revenue last year was 5.99 trillion naira, while it spent 19.50 trillion naira, exceeding its income by 225%. The report showed that the revenue came from the various sources, including 3.80 trillion naira from the Federation Account Allocation Committee, 1.98 trillion naira from the federal government's independent revenue, and 202.54 billion naira from other sources. This deficit highlights the government's continued drift away from fiscal responsibility as it borrows more than it earns, perpetrating a cycle of debt and financial instability. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says it has commenced shipments of liquefied natural gas cargoes to Japan and China on a delivered ex-ship basis. The company stated that the move is in line with its strategic vision to be a dynamic and reliable global energy supplier of choice. The company's spokesperson, Olufemi Sonoye, said in a statement that NNPC achieved a milestone through the collaboration of 2 of its downstream subsidiaries, NNPC LNG Limited and NNPC Shipping Limited, which delivers its first DES LNG cargo. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekperikpe Ekpo, says the federal government will do everything it can to reduce the rising cost of liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas. The minister stated this as the Decade of Gas initiative flagged the distribution to about 300 women in Lagos State. The price of 1 kilogram of cooking gas, which dropped to about 1,000 naira in June and July, has now risen to 1,300 in some areas. Financial analysts have projected a rebound in both foreign and domestic investments in Nigeria's capital market, attributing the anticipated growth to recent government policy reforms and improved investor sentiment. The analysts believe that a stable economic environment will drive more robust participation from both local and foreign investors. They, however, caution that colleagues such as inflation, interest rates, and FX volatility must be addressed for sustained growth. About 198 extractive companies and government agencies have submitted information and data for the ongoing nationwide reconciliation and validation of revenues in the oil, gas, and mining industries by the Nigerian Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. The initiative's acting director and head of communications and stakeholders management, Obiagile Onora, stated that the executive secretary of the agency, Dr. Orji Ogbonaya, announced this in Abuja while addressing a meeting of leaders from civil society organizations involved in the extractive center. On our foreign scene, a Chinese hospital ship has docked in Cape Town, South Africa, to bring much-needed free medical care to South African patients as part of a joint exercise between the two nations. South Africa's Army Health Service said in a statement that the Peace Ark arrived on the country's western shores on August 22nd and will provide independent medical services for 7 consecutive days. Colonel Chinodinwa Mohale, SSO Nursing SA Military Health Service, one of the beneficiaries, spoke on her reason for using the service. Despite being the most advanced economy in the continent, South Africa grapples with widespread poverty and high unemployment, making quality health care often inaccessible. In his first major speech since taking office, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says life in Britain will get worse before it gets better. Starmer, whose Labour Party was elected by a landslide on July 4th, is expected to use the speech to wrap up attacks on the legacy left by the Austrian Conservatives. Finance Minister Rachel Reeves in recent days has also warned of difficult decisions over whether to cut spending or increase taxes in her first budget on October 30th. Japan has accused a Chinese spy plane of breaching its airspace in what it would be the first known instance of such a direct violation. Japan scrambled fighter jets after a Y-9 surveillance plane violated the territorial airspace of Danjo Island for about 2 minutes at 11:29 local time. Japanese Chief Cabinet Secretary called the breach utterly unacceptable and summoned a Chinese embassy official in Tokyo in protest. The incident comes as tensions rise in the region where China competes for influence against the U.S. and its allies, including Japan. Meta boss Mark Zuckerberg says he regrets bowing to what he said was pressure from a Biden administration to censor content on Facebook and Instagram during the coronavirus pandemic. In a letter sent to a U.S. House committee chair, he said senior officials, including some from the White House, pressured Meta to remove content in 2021. The White House has defended its actions, saying it encouraged responsible actions to protect public health and safety. Zuckerberg also said his firm briefly demoted content relating to Joe Biden's son, Hunter, ahead of the 2020 election after the FBI warned of a potential Russian disinformation operation. A Russian murderer who was released from prison to fight in the war in Ukraine, only to then kill an elderly woman, has been released a second time to return to the front. In 2022, Ivan Rosamahin was released from prison where he was serving a 14-year prison sentence for murder to join the Wagner missionary group. He was later allowed to return home to the district of Polony in the Russian Kirov region. There he attacked and killed 85-year-old Yula in her own home. In sports, the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, has reached an agreement with German tactician Bruno Labbadia to take charge of the Super Eagles. Secretary General of the NFF, Mohamed Sanusi, made the announcement, citing that the Federation's Executive Committee has approved the recommendation of its Technical and Development Subcommittee to appoint Bruno Labbadia as the head coach of the Super Eagles, and the appointment is with immediate effect. Still on Sports, 20 Nigerian track and field athletes are among 1,700 athletes from 134 teams and countries now in Lima for the World Athletics Under-20 Championship in 2020. The young athletes are reported to be competing at the Estado Atletico de la Vena between Tuesday and Saturday. Several of the participating athletes will be making their international debut in Lima, while for some others, the path of Peru have been gone through the Paris Olympic Games. The list of Olympians who will compete for age group honors following the Paris 2024 Games is believed to be long. Nigeria's first Olympic medalist, Eugene Mayeng, has died at the age of 85. The former boxer, who made history by winning a bronze medal at the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, passed away in Vienna, Austria, where he resided for several years after relocating from Nigeria. Multiple sources have confirmed that Mayeng died of natural causes after being in and out of the hospital in the past 6 months. Known to have been visually impaired by several years, Mayenga's condition had reportedly worsened before his death. Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has turned down a €70 million move to Saudi Arabia club Al Ahly, with his agent Roberto Calanda insisting that Napoli star still has unfinished business in European football. This development comes amid heightened transfer speculation surrounding Napoli star, who has drawn interest from several top clubs across Europe and the Middle East. Osimhen has a litany of clubs in the Saudi Pro League willing to break the bank to sign him. However, the Nigerian international has so far overlooked such overtures, looking to continue his football in Europe, preferably the English Premier League. As we end the News Express on Global Television, a quick look at some of our top stories again. We brought you that Senator Akpabio has said positive mindset is required to drive Nigerians' progress. In business, Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative has announced plan to probe 190 oil and mining companies' revenue. And on our foreign scene, South Africa patients have flocked to dock Chinese hospital ship in a bid to access health services. And finally, in sports, we said Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has rejected €70 million Saudi move. And that's it on News Express, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Remember, we're on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276, and free-to-air Nicomsat and its perimeters showing on your screen. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms by using the Global TV NG and the handles now showing on your screen. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching.